Welcome to the Anchor Room, a podcast from Heritage Theological Seminary. This is a space for theological reflection at the intersection of ministry, doctrine, and culture in Canada. Here, timely questions are engaged with the enduring truths of Scripture and the historic witness of the Church. Each episode brings together scholars, pastors, and ministry leaders to think carefully about what it means to serve Christ faithfully in our present context. We're glad you've joined us. Let's begin today's conversation. Welcome to the Anchor Room, a podcast of Heritage Theological Seminary. I'm Jonathan Griffiths, and I serve as president here, and I'm delighted today to have an opportunity to chat with Michael Haken, our professor of church history. To chat once again, we've been on this before, but we have a new topic today, which is a new degree program, which you have initiated and are leading here at the seminary, but we've been thinking about for some time, and this is the THM degree. And I would love to ask you, what is a THM and why are we doing it?
Yeah, THM is technically a Master of Theology, and it's, I think, vital for those in pastoral ministry, various forms of parachurch organization, that at some point after they've gotten their basic theological training, that they do further education. One of the things I have noticed about people in full-time Christian work or whatever is that they get their initial theological training, and then it's feasible for them never to do any further continuing education, which is just not the way it is in any other field of endeavor or profession. You think about doctors, lawyers, etc. They have to keep up their qualifications by doing various courses over the years. And for some reason, we feel that a man or a woman who gets a basic theological degree, that's good for the next 30, 40 years. And realistically, it just isn't. And so at a very basic level, the THM is providing for somebody who's been in ministry 15, 20 years, an element of continuing education, deepening the skills that they've already developed.
What are the subject areas that could be covered, and who's going to be involved in providing the instruction?
So subject areas, we've got two concentrations. One is biblical studies. So that would cover the entire range of Old, New Testament, even possibly intertestamental. And as what we also call biblical theology, where you're looking at the continuity and discontinuity between the covenants. And then the other concentration is in historical and theological studies. Okay. So looking at church history, historical theology, systematic theology, and then even pastoral theology. In terms of involvement, I will be involved. I'll be involved specifically in two of the courses, not teaching the full course, but a portion of the courses. We're also drawing upon faculty from outside of Heritage. In the case of the first major course is in patristic and medieval thought. Now I'll be doing something on the medieval and patristic. We're asking a woman named Megan DeVore, who has a PhD in patristics, teaches at Colorado Christian. She is a superb lecturer and is increasingly recognized as a major authority in her field. Another course is in biblical theology, and Dr. Jason Yu, who is at Redeemer University, has a specialty in Pauline studies, will be offering that course. And then the final course in class, as it were, is on evangelical and Baptist thought. And I'll be doing a little bit on Baptist, and the evangelical will be a man named Dr. Michael Pullman, who did his PhD at Southern on evangelicalism in America in the 20th century, but also now teaches in the realm of homiletics, has been a pastor, and therefore is able to bring those the interface between academics and pastoral ministry, as is Dr. Yu. Dr. Yu was a full-time pastor in a Korean Presbyterian church in Toronto for a number of years.
Wonderful.
And then we're also involving various people, some in the school, like Dr. Valancourt, who will be supervisors, and then some, again, from outside of Heritage.
We've had an initial response to this, which has been really quite strong from potential students, which has been a very pleasant surprise to me, but I think not a surprise to you. You're sensing that there is indeed a hunger for this type of opportunity at Heritage.
Yeah, for a number of reasons. One is that the usual pathway, say 15, 20 years ago, to get a THM or even to think about going on to PhD would be to go to the States.
Right.
But for a variety of reasons, both financially, economically, and then the kind of historical, cultural things that have been taking place in the last 10 years have, I think, provided an opportunity to develop a course like this on our home turf, etc. And it's been very encouraging. And I think that there is a growing recognition among men, particularly pastors, but also others, men and women involved in other fields of Christian work, that they need something deeper.
Right.
The MDiv or the MTS that they may have taken 15, 20 years ago, we live in a significantly different world.
Yes.
And the way things were circa 1990s, it's quite a different world in many respects that we live in now. And something like this will provide a vehicle for theological, biblical reflection upon the world in which we live.
I think it's very exciting. You've spoken to me about this course as being essentially a doctoral level course. I wonder if you could just flesh that out a little bit and what you mean by that.
So the courses that we give are fully accredited for a doctoral program. Mm-hmm. So that means then that they are being given at a doctoral level. And so this is really a step above the Masters of Theological Studies or the Master of MDiv that we do here. And so that somebody who does this program, we're in conversation with a number of schools in Europe, both in Holland and in Great Britain, where this program would be a smooth on-ramp to a PhD in one of these schools. The European and British PhDs normally are thesis only.
Yes.
Unlike the North American PhD, where you're looking at 2 years of coursework, which is essentially the THM.
Right.
So, for instance, if you go to some of the American schools and do a PhD, do the first 2 years and then decide you don't want to go further, you'll get a THM.
Right.
And so what we're doing then is providing the THM for students who would like to go to a European PhD. And even if you go to the States, these would be transferable into a PhD in the States. The cost factor obviously is an issue here. The American PhD being significantly higher in terms of finances than what you could do in either Europe or here in Canada.
And obviously, we're hoping that a number of our students who enter into this program will go on to the PhD. I wonder if you might be able to comment just for a moment on the value of putting more PhDs into the system for the church and for the evangelical world. Do we need more PhDs? Question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my answer would be along 3 levels. First of all, we need to be able to provide here in Ontario, the basis for the THM is really the foundation for a PhD. A Canadian basis for somebody who does a PhD. Because if you did the THM here and then went into a European PhD, they're non-residential.
Right.
And so you basically would go over to, say, Holland or the UK once a year for 2 or 3 years. And so essentially, you still remain within the Canadian context. And I've been involved enough now over the past 2 or 3 decades with American PhD education. And there are significant differences that have emerged. And we need to be able to provide the foundations for the potential PhD here in Ontario. Partly because of the needs for academia. Myself and others are not getting any younger, and we need people who can step into our shoes. Number 2, one of the things that I've realized over the years is a philosophy of doing PhDs that Mark Dever, who is at Capitol Hill Baptist Church in DC has argued. He did his PhD at Cambridge University on Richard Sibbes, and then has never really taught in academia at all. Came back to DC and went right into revitalizing what is now Capitol Hill Baptist Church. And one of the things that he has argued is that, especially for large urban centers where you have significant numbers of professionals in local churches. So here in Ontario, places like the GTA, Ottawa, London, for example, it is very helpful for a pastor to have academic qualifications where he can communicate at a level that these professional men and women are, that fits their level of education.
Yes.
And then thirdly, there are massive opportunities, either for residential relocation to the majority world with our PhDs, or even there are a number of organizations now that I'm aware of and have been involved in through graduates of PhDs that I've taught who are short-term. They go to, say, Malawi for 3 weeks, do a course. They come back to North America, and then 3 months later they'll be in Serbia, and then 3 months later maybe Argentina. And there's numerous contexts now of developing theological education around the world where these contexts do not have the finances to either build buildings, support residential faculty,
right,
and therefore they're drawing upon resources that we have. And so we don't want to flood the simply academic market with PhDs, but there are numerous avenues that somebody who gets a PhD can work in. Yes, academia, but although all of these massive numbers of possibilities overseas, and then even in local ministry. If you find yourself in a significant urban center where a PhD will enhance your ministry among various men and women who would be professionals.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm personally thrilled about the opportunity.
I am too.
Yeah, and very hopeful for what fruit might come. Very grateful for your leadership in this, Michael.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Wonderful to be able to chat about it too. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in the Anchor Room, a podcast from Heritage Theological Seminary. Our hope is that these conversations provide space for deeper reflection on the unchanging truth of God's Word and its relevance for the life of the church today. If you'd like to learn more about Heritage and our commitment to equipping men and women for biblically faithful ministry in Canada and beyond, visit us at discoverheritage.ca. Be sure to follow the Anchor Room on your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And subscribe to the Heritage College and Seminary YouTube channel for video episodes and exclusive content. You can also visit discoverheritage.ca for updates and resources from the school. Until next time, may you remain anchored in the hope of the gospel and steadfast in the calling of Christ.